Hey guys, and welcome back to StarKid Sleepover Saturday. We want to take a quick second and thank you guys for all the support you've been showing us so far, and we hope you enjoy these new episodes. So today's topic, we will be talking about StarKid's web series, Little White Lie. It stars Lauren Lopez, Darren Criss, Alona Finlay, Chris Allen, Meredith, Jim,
Nick Lang,
Brian Holden,
Save Calvin. Alright, not all of us are super into this web series because some of us were just really into the musicals, and this is a total tonal shift from what we are used to with StarKid. But I personally love it because growing up, I was someone who would always watch Degrassi and all those teen dramas, and that is textbook what this is. So it follows two siblings, Sammy and Duder, who are struggling to be this up-and-coming band. And to get noticed, you have to win the high schools. Is it high school?
Yeah, it's high school.
Okay.
I don't know what year they're supposed to be, but I would assume, like, junior or senior.
Yeah.
It's, like, late high school.
Yeah. So to get noticed, you have to win the Battle of the Bands, which is completely taken over by Lauren's character, Tanya, and the Hot Girls. They win every year. And Sammy is just sort of sick of it and just sort of wants to be in the popular crowd while her brother Duder is just sort of along for the ride. But then there's a car crash and stealing music and a lot of crazy things that happen, and
Very Degrassi.
and the cliffhanger that had us on the cliff for like 5 or 6 years until Eric released the synopsis for season 2.
We love Eric.
But yeah, so what were your guys' reactions to what you watched and what you have seen of Little White Lie?
Well, in middle school and high school, I never enjoyed, I still don't enjoy any kind of like drama TV show. I never watched Degrassi. I didn't watch like anything like that. So when I first watched Little White Lie, I was like, I don't love this. I absolutely, of course, love the members of StarKid, and so of course I watched it all. I enjoyed that they did keep a little bit, the StarKid humor. But I don't know, it wasn't my cup of tea, and honestly, I think now going back, I should rewatch it again and just maybe take notes and just kind of, think of all the reasons why I do like it. But I don't know, drama was just never like my big favorite thing. It was always more of a comedy, rom-com, romance thing.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I think you showed it to me almost directly after showing me A Very Potty Musical, and I was like, not into it, because if you're looking at it from looking at like a professional show point of view, it's not good. It's like okay, but it's not this like groundbreaking kind of show. So I was like, okay, this is fine, but I was more interested in the music. And then I forgot about it for like years, for the whole time I've been into StarKid. And then every time I go onto the YouTube channel, I'm like, oh, there it is. Like, should I try it again? I didn't like it the first time, but and I never did until we started this podcast, and I was like, oh, I have to, we're going to do an episode on it. I should probably go back and watch it. And as I was watching it, because I found such a love for the actors themselves, I really liked the show afterwards. And I was like, oh, I have a connection with Lauren, and I have a connection with all of them. I don't know. It just was a lot better when you care about the people. And, you're looking at it with, a grain of salt, being like, oh, these are, sweet kids putting on a show. It's not this, it's professionally done TV show.
I mean, they were students when they were making it, so...
Yeah.
Their first experience with microphones and camera-worn cassettes and...
Yeah, if you're looking at it like that, you're like, holy shit, this is great. But, if you're looking at it from...
I mean, if, you hand me a laptop and you're like, all right, write a dramatic musical script.
Yeah.
I would probably come up with something completely awful.
Yeah, exactly.
Celina, what were your thoughts?
I mean, there's not much that I can say that hasn't already been said, but I think out of the 4 of us, I like it the least. It is way too Degrassi for me. I cannot with...
I feel like it's 1 against 3 here because I actually like Little White Lies.
Well, I mean, it's fair. It's an opinion. I will watch it, but I don't go out of my way to watch it. There's scenes that I like, but I'm not going to say it's my favorite or I like the characters that much.
No, I hate the characters.
The characters are all awful.
To me, it was just one of my... I want to say it's in my bottom for all of StarKid projects. Like, it's towards the bottom. It might not be the very last one. I don't actually think about anything as being the very last one, but it is towards the bottom.
It's easy to pick a favorite. It's hard to pick a least favorite. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're all good in their own
You guys
ways.
don't have all the facts.
Yeah.
The facts are that I would die for Nick Lang.
Yes, I mean,
that is the
same.
one common consensus, is that we would all die for Nick Lang.
Yeah, I didn't like the storyline. I didn't like the way the characters were. I mean, I could appreciate that it was a first project with that much production quality, and I can see that they were trying, but my personal opinion is just I did not and do not really like it. So...
I think part of the reason why it is so dislikable is that there are very few redeeming qualities to the main characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toby cheats on his girlfriend.
No, I'm just kidding.
Tanya hits and runs a child, a
And
kid.
makes that really bad
And
joke.
makes a really transphobic joke, which I will attest is a victim of its time, but
Yes.
still
Yeah.
inexcusable.
But I like the fact that the reaction from the crowd was all like, that's really screwed up, Tanya, instead of like, haha, like that's funny.
Yeah.
That was ahead of its time,
Yeah.
Yes.
which was cool.
Yeah. And oh my god, Sammy is one of the worst
Irredeemable.
characters
Do not
I
get
have
me
ever
started on
seen.
Sammy. Oh my
But-
god.
It gives me a total like love to hate her vibe. But yeah, so like the only people I was really like rooting for throughout the show was Duder
Oh, I love
Yes.
Duder.
and I guess Jim, but Jim had like
We're always rooting
7
for Jim.
lines.
So I took notes on the second time I watched it because I wanted to make sure that I had stuff, and I just realized, I'm looking at him right now, I don't have a single note on Sammy, and she's our main character. Like, that shows you right there, if your main character is not likable, it's hard to really
Right.
want to root for
And
them.
this is no dig on Allie G. I
No,
think she's
she's-
amazing.
she's a
She
great
did such a
actress.
great job at
Alana?
playing this character. I'm sorry, yes. At playing this character that we hate. Like,
And she also has a fantastic voice.
oh my god, incredible.
Oh yeah, I love her. Yeah, I guess it's a testament to how good she was at acting at that script because she just made someone so unlikable.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to like Sandy.
No, not at all. And I actually read the synopsis for season 2 and it gets even worse. But
My
yeah.
notes are just ha 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 Jim over and over again.
Honestly, that's the only takeaway I have from this show is ha 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 Jim.
I really like when they're recording in the studio and Toby is just like, Jim, I found your drumsticks in the bathroom again. It's just kind of weird. There were a few one-liners throughout Little White Lie
Yes.
that I will quote until the day I die. Another one of Toby's where he was like, thanks for letting me carry all the gear in, guys. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so
Do we still want to do favorite character, favorite scene, favorite song?
Favorite song.
we can do
I mean, there are.
we can do favorites and least favorites because I feel like that'll give us more to talk about.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Do you want to start it, or do you want
I feel like I'll have the most to say, so
I can start it. I have the
Okay.
least.
Go for it. Go ahead, Celina.
I guess favorite character is Duder. Most relatable for me. I am the one that's like, you know, if I just witnessed a kid get hit by a car and my sister was like, act sad, I'm like, I am sad.
I'm really sad.
Or I would be the one that ends up spying and sitting in a tree. So, yeah, Deuter is, I guess, my favorite character.
Mm-hmm. Who's your least favorite character then?
Do I even have to say it's Sammy? I cannot stand Sammy.
I like how Tanya almost killed a person and we still dislike Sammy more.
Well, I mean, so I have a reasoning for it just because you said that. Like, Tanya did almost kill a person, but she felt guilty. She didn't want to admit it, but she tried to fix it. Whereas Sammy stole a basically brain-dead teen's music.
God, she's just the worst character.
And it was songs that were written about her, like...
Basically brain-dead teen.
I mean, but the thing about Sammy, and like I'll agree to what you guys said earlier about Alana, right? Is it
Ilona, I believe?
Ilona?
Ilona Finlay, which I believe she has a different last name now because she's married.
Yay, congratulations.
I always want to read it as Alana, but it's Ilona. But I will say like that is good acting.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I hate to bring this up, but like when people would talk about Twilight and how they hated Bella as a character, they're always saying that she was an awful character. And it's like, she was a badly written character, but Kristen Stewart did a great job of portraying that. That's why we felt that way. So I think if Sammy was written to be an awful character,
she did.
Alona did an amazing job at making us feel that.
Well played.
So yeah.
Like Luther in Umbrella Academy.
Yes.
You freaking suck. But
that's the
Tom
point.
is amazing.
Tom, you're doing a great job.
So, yeah, favorite character, Deuter. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the next one?
Favorite scene?
Favorite scene.
Yeah. Or like one-liner.
Favorite scene was when Sammy and Deuter just finished. It's in the beginning. It's the very first when they just finished their like awful like it felt like a karaoke night, but
like
when
a
they were
set.
when they were performing at the cafe and then they were running
beginning?
to school because they were like, oh crap, it's Battle of the Bands.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, but then it's when they get in and I forgot his name.
Zach.
Brian's character, Zach. Thank you. When he sees them running towards the sign-ups, he's like, no, it's closed. It's over.
You're 15 seconds
late. Yeah,
I liked that.
So,
And then Tanya comes in, oh, you want to sign up, but I have the pen.
yeah, that whole just beginning to the entire series, I guess, is my favorite scene, which I think says a lot if your favorite scene is literally the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from there for you.
Yeah, that's literally how it feels like. I will, like I said, I watch it, but somewhere in the middle in the middle of it, my brain just goes, bleh. Like I turned into Kevin.
Oh no.
Like that's how it feels. It straight up feels like I'm just there, but I'm not really there. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad that that's how I feel, but I just really did not like Little White Lie.
It just didn't hook you in.
Yeah.
So do you have a least favorite scene?
Everything else? I like I said, I probably have the least to say about anything.
Do you have a favorite song?
No.
Oh, all right.
But I do enjoy when they do Boy Toy, like live.
Mm-hmm.
When they perform it, I think it's funny.
This is a song about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Save Calvin.
She called him Calvin.
His name is Kevin?
Yeah, but yeah, so.
Emma?
Great.
Favorite character.
It's not hard to go after me.
It's Jim. I also really like Zach. I actually like Zach's character. I think he's funny in this weird business-minded way. I don't know. But Jim is my favorite character, and I had a friend like that in high school that was just off.
Just one-liners.
Would read
Just one-liners
poetry,
and honestly had the funniest one-liners, but was just such an oddball. I absolutely loved him. He was like one of my favorite people to hang around because he just made me laugh. Yeah, it was Jim. I like Duder. I don't like any of the characters in this web series. I'm so sorry.
Well, I guess I'm not really alone there.
No.
Yeah.
It's
Sylvie
not my
Phillips
favorite.
deserved better. You don't have
Did
all the
he?
facts. The facts are that I love him.
Favorite scene?
So favorite scene would probably either be the one that Kaitlyn mentioned earlier in the practice room, where oh my gosh, what's Darren's character's name? Toby comes in with the drumsticks for Jim, or actually my favorite, the one that always makes me laugh, is Duder walking in on Jim sitting on the toilet with his shorts on. Wait.
And there's just like a shrine of like magazine clippings.
Come back. Welcome. I'm not pooping. He cracks me up.
Did they even give him a script?
I don't think so. I think it's just Jim. I think it's just
Jim being Jim.
Favorite song. I actually really like the intro song.
I do too.
It's a bop. And Boy Toy, obviously, because that's the anthem.
It's about believing in yourself.
It's about believing in yourself. That's it. Any least favorite scene would be anything with Sammy in it, because she's just the worst. And my least favorite character is Sammy. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain myself. Go ahead, Kylie.
Well, my favorite character is definitely Duder. I completely agree with everything Celina said about him. I think he's the only one where I feel like his heart the whole time is in the right place. He's the least selfish. He is like the most dorky and lovable one. He's not stupid, but he's also not too bright.
He just wants those welcome Tanya cookies.
Exactly, and he's so sweet, and he just wants to support his sister in any way that he can.
I identify with Duder.
Yeah, he's a nice kid. And then my least favorite character, I mean, we all agree we don't like Sammy. But I think this is an obscure character. I can't even remember her name, but it's the other main girl in the Hot Girls.
Oh, that takes over Tanya?
Oh my god, I don't like her. Like, she's just so...
She was like all sassy, being like, well, Toby is over at Sammy's. Well,
Yeah,
like, how do you know that?
First of all,
Who
how do
are
you know
you?
that? Second of all, why... Like, I get why you're being mean to Tanya in that moment, but, like, tone it down a notch. Like, you could literally just be like, hey, I didn't like the way you acted at that party, leave. Like...
Also, like, why was Meredith's character not the second one in the Hot Girls? Like,
Right?
to take over the
Yeah,
Hot
what
Girls.
is this madness?
Yeah, so I couldn't stand her. And then...
Meredith couldn't play mean.
Probably not.
I feel like she can't play
Probably not.
mean, so that's probably why she wasn't the second.
But, I mean...
She deserved
that girl
to be the
couldn't
first.
play mean either.
Sometimes.
My favorite scene is definitely Duder as a spy. I thought it was the funniest little montage, and I think that song is so funny. You can hear that it's clearly like Brian Holden singing, and it gets stuck in my head, and I actually showed it to my mom, and I was like, please watch this because I think it's hilarious. And then I love the fact that he's one, out in the open in the middle of the street, like clearly not hiding. Two, my favorite part is when it zooms out and he's in the tree and he has like that like pierced or how do you say that, when you go like that?
The purse lips?
Yes, and he's like trying so hard to like look like a spy.
It looks like Zoolander.
Exactly. It's so funny. So yeah, that I could watch that scene just completely out of context and be happy. My least favorite scene, I had it in my head, but I can't remember what it was. Because I mean, there's a lot.
The whole Sammy transitioning joke.
Yeah,
that was just uncomfortable.
That one
It really is.
That one was really bad. It was for those of you who haven't watched Little White Lie, Tanya's character, Lauren's character Tanya, she spreads a rumor that Sammy is transgender and is like getting a sex change. And back then, that was like a thing that people would joke about on shows like Degrassi and other teen dramas. And to watch it in 2019 was...
It's jarring.
Yeah, because I completely forgot about it until I watched it again. And I was like, ooh, I don't like that. And I don't like it coming from Lauren. Like, I know that's not her, but, like, seeing someone as sweet and great as Lauren be so not great, I didn't like that.
I hate this thing.
I feel like I completely repressed that scene. Like,
I did.
Yeah.
Because I do have transgender people in my family.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that scene just doesn't come to my mind because I'm just like, I refuse to even acknowledge that it existed.
It's gone.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is back then those were things people joked about. I remember being in that time period, and I think I was in, junior high-ish? We were all in junior high.
Oh my god.
Early high school.
I mean, it was never okay.
It was never okay,
but the culture has shifted.
It was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably my least favorite scene. And then songs. My favorite song is tied with Duder's a Spy, because I think it's funny, but I also really, really like the song that they steal from Kevin.
It's over now.
Yes.
It's great.
I think it's such a good song. I really like Sammy singing it too. I love her voice.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part was when they find Kevin's website and they play him singing it.
Yeah.
And it's just Darren's voice pitched up.
And he has such a notable voice. Darren Criss has such a distinct voice that it's like, oh.
It's fine.
It's fine. But that was back before Darren Criss had a distinct voice. He wasn't.
That's true.
He wasn't big yet. He wasn't everywhere.
He wasn't
You're
DC.
telling me Toby Phillips was not his starring role, his claim to fame?
The reason he got on Glee in season 3 was Toby Phillips.
Season 2.
Oh my god. I'm not a true Glee fan. I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Your Glee card is getting revoked.
Oh no,
Damn
not my
that
Glee card.
GLE.
All right, Kaitlyn, your turn.
All right.
Go off, queen.
I am swimming upstream here. I enjoy Little White Lie because I take it for what it is at face value. And I did watch it when I was 13 or 14, and I was obsessed with Degrassi, and the most dramatic things happening were so interesting to me. And then me being like, yes, this is what high school is like. There's going to be a battle of the bands every week, and it is going to determine the hierarchy of the school.
Is that not how your high school experience went?
No, not at all. So my favorite character, I do love Duder, just because of how he's just like an mostly innocent bystander in all of this, and
He feels like the viewer's person.
yeah, where he's just like this is wrong, and Sammy's just like, shut up, we're doing this, we're gonna be famous.
It's like, well, okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I don't know, but I also relate to Kevin in his anxiety and just like fear to show who he really is. So I like those two characters. I dislike Tanya and Sammy probably for the same amount, but for different reasons. And the reason I would probably say I dislike Sammy more is that she was completely delusional to everything she was doing, from what I felt like, where she thought she was entitled to this fame and these songs, and, you know...
Like, she kept justifying her own actions, being like,
and
I
understand, but I feel like it would have been easier to sympathize with her if we got more into her backstory.
Right. I sympathize with human error.
Yeah.
If I know the human.
And I mean, I love a good villain, but Sammy was not a good one. I like a villain that I can almost root for, where I'm like, alright, you're doing this for a reason.
That's kinda how Tanya was. I wish she also had more of a backstory, being like, why is she this mean? But she has those redeemable qualities where she, like, shows guilt, and she, you know...
she kind of reminds me of Tess from Camp Rock.
Yes.
The blonde girl, yeah.
Yes.
But what I also liked about Tanya was she did some awful things. But in her head, she was doing things to make up for it. Whereas Sammy just kept piling on the lies and the bad actions, where Tanya was trying to do what she thought she could to make better. And another thing about Tanya was she was self-aware. There's a scene where she's talking to Sammy and she's like, I know everybody hates me, which is why I'm trying to, like, have some real friends for a change.
Which is what makes that, like, betrayal at the end so hard on her.
Yeah. Yeah, Toby kind of sucks.
They all suck.
They all suck.
But yeah, it might have been, like, just, I guess, my mental development at the time I watched it, where I was like, yes, this is good content. I'm 14 years old. But I just remember being so frustrated with how it ended. So, like we've said before, this is supposed to act as sort of like an after party after you watch a certain StarKid thing. So hopefully you've watched the entire season.
Here's hoping we didn't spoil everything for you.
I'll probably put a spoiler warning in the description. But the way it happens is, 3-second summary, blah, blah, blah. Kevin comes to audition for Sammy's band. He gets too anxious and leaves the audition, and he gets hit by a car outside of Sammy and Duder's house. And he ends up in a coma. Sammy and Duder were the only witnesses. The driver drove off. And through getting to know his aunt and helping her cope with this really sick nephew now, they find out he's this incredible songwriter and musician, and he has this amazing equipment that no one ever knew of because he was so shy and anxious that he would never perform in front of anybody. But he had a website where he was posting things anonymously for no audience. And Sammy and Duder, which I guess he has to be lumped in because he went along with it, they steal his songs, and it gets them this notoriety where they become cool at school because they're these amazing songwriters now. They don't win the Battle of the Bands, but is it Nigel Waters? Is that his name?
Yes.
It's like something super British. He notices them and wants them to record because he enjoyed their music more. And then it just keeps spiraling where they're recording and putting out a demo and are on the fast track to becoming famous, and all of their dreams are coming true. But it's all based on this one huge lie that they're just claiming as just a little tiny white one.
And the entire time, Tanya is trying to figure out what's going on.
Yes. Because Tanya ended up being the one who did hit Kevin. So she gets closer to Sammy, and through a bunch of different events, she leaves her band, joins Sammy's. Like how I said, this was a 30-second summary. I'm not going through the entire thing. But as they are about to become super successful, the show ends with Kevin waking up. And there is no content after, except just a few years ago, Eric Congale released a synopsis of season 2.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Which I can go through really quickly as well. I know I still have to answer my favorite song and stuff too.
Okay.
So it's Kevin, he wakes up from his coma, and he mostly remembers everything except for what happened and the day it happened. And
Convenient.
Yeah. Because that's how traumatic head injuries work.
We love television.
So Tanya, I assume, feeling guilty but also not wanting Kevin to remember that it was her, gets super close to Kevin. And I think they end up, like, dating, which makes Duder super sad.
Aw.
Poor
Yeah.
Duder.
And Kevin ends up hearing Little White Lie perform, and that snaps his memory back. And then...
Wait, if he remembers everything before the day that it happened, he would remember he wrote that song.
Well, I don't know how exactly it was written because I think the file deleted, so this is just like a bullet point thing. But he hears his song and then he confronts the band because he's still in love with Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want Toby out. These are my songs. I'm going to be in the band now. And
Good for Kevin.
Gets hit by a
Good
car
for-
instantly.
good for all
he's
of us.
more confident.
so now that Sammy and Toby are not together, Kevin's like, all right, like, I assume he's just guilting Sammy into being like, if you don't want me to say what you guys did, you have to, like, date me and let me be in your band.
Which is...
Oh,
Which,
that's
if that
awesome.
works in real life, I might try that. But as he goes on, he realizes that Sammy wasn't what he thought she was.
Mm-hmm.
And sees her true colors.
Good.
And Duder leaves too. Leaves the band too. So it's just Sammy.
Oh.
And Kevin's like,
band.
you can have the songs because they were about you and they mean nothing to me now.
Damn. Get it, Kevin.
Go off.
Kevin.
So Sammy becomes famous as the Little White Lies solo act. And when she's about to perform on TV, I guess it sort of all comes crashing down on her, like, crap,
Guilt.
like, I am a sham. And then she admits what she did on live TV.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I guess Kevin becomes famous for being the songwriter.
Good. More
And
Kevin
then-
content.
Yes.
It ends with Sammy, Duder, and Toby performing as Reese's Pieces in college
Oh, that's cute.
That is cute.
with genuine music.
Thank you,
That's
Eric.
good. I liked that.
I feel like
Where
I would
it's
have
like-
enjoyed the second season more than the
Oh, yeah.
So too.
Oh yeah,
Because it shows Sammy getting what she deserves.
they could still film season 2.
Oh,
Revival.
God.
Darren, make it happen.
Kickstarter.
Oh, no.
No, but I think that season 2 did a good job of doing their best to redeem irredeemable characters. But yeah, that's something we wanted for a very long time, is to figure out what happened in season 2, because everything went to shit and it was awful.
Yeah, to leave on a cliffhanger like that is very frustrating.
Yeah.
Even if you're not super invested in the show, like, a cliffhanger is just torture.
But one thing I really loved about Little White Lie was the music on its own, because it had a lot of stuff from Darren's Human EP. It had I Still Think, which is one of my favorite songs. Sammy itself is a beautiful song.
It is.
You prefer Harry?
I do. I definitely prefer Harry. And it's just, I like associating that song with a Harry Potter musical, and I don't, it's just how I am.
I really do love the other bands, though, like Hunky Tonk.
Yes.
That was funny.
Rocky Top.
Fancy Machine is a bop. The Ex-Boyfriends.
The Ex-Boyfriends was pretty funny.
Love Grenade
Love
Yeah.
Grenade.
with Mark Swiderski.
I love Mark. Mark is my icon. I aspire to be like Mark Swiderski.
All right. So, we apologize if this episode was a little bit of a train wreck, but
So was the show.
you know what? Let's see you write a show right now.
In front of everyone.
But I don't have a quill.
Kylie can't write. Kylie can't write.
Hey, you found one.
Any closing remarks to this? I don't even know if I can call this an episode.
We respect Little White Lie for what it was.
I still hate
We
it.
respect StarKid. We love StarKid.
I like it a lot more now. Like, going back and looking at it like a little nugget of
a little nugget.
A nugget of
a
content.
little blip on StarKid's
yeah,
journey.
it's like sweet.
I genuinely
It's a good
am
memory.
entertained by it, but I also like seeing how awful human beings can be.
Ain't that the truth? When you watch things like Degrassi too, it's very like over the top.
Yeah.
It's
I'm trying
very
to
over
think
the
back
top.
to the season of Degrassi that was happening in this era. And I think, if my years are correct in my head,
2007, 2008? 2007 to 2009, right?
That might have been the year of, I don't know why I watched so much Degrassi. I didn't like those kinds of shows that much, but I watched a lot of Degrassi. I think that might have been when Manny was getting all that crap for trying to be her own person.
Yeah.
So that kind of, maybe that's what triggered.
They probably pulled from that a lot.
Yeah.
Probably.
Which is smart, because it was popular. Degrassi was popular.
Right. Well, what I was saying was that Degrassi was very over the top as far as the, the characterization. They were all very much caricatures, and Little White Lie was still, everyone was still a caricature, but they were a little more relatable. Like, I knew a Tanya in high school. I knew
that's the thing.
a Sammy in high school.
People
I knew
like
a Jim in high school.
exist.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary, but
It's good to see. I don't know. I guess it's not good to see that's like widespread, but I don't know. It's nice to see something that's a little relatable. That was a little more like, oh, this is kind of actually what high school is like, other than the Battle of the Bands.
why did every teen show in that time era have a Battle of the Bands?
Did you have Battle of the
my
Bands?
school had a Battle of the Bands, and if I played an instrument, I'd be into it.
Well,
You played the clarinet.
One-man band.
You kind of went to a more artsy school than we did.
I guess it is now. It wasn't much when I was going there, but we had our moments.
I mean, your school had a show choir.
Yeah.
So did
But
mine.
the way that I feel about
never
this
mind.
show
Ours
is
didn't.
the way I feel about this show with the fans is they should definitely give it a try.
If we had to suffer through it, so do you.
Sure do. And
No, I genuinely do love this for what it is, and take it with a grain of salt. Recognize the time era it was created in, and I'm sure you will find something entertaining about it. Whether it's like you and your friend just yelling at each other how much you dislike the character of Sammy,
a favorite pastime.
or forcing someone to watch the whole thing and just let them realize that it stops on the worst cliffhanger ever.
Yes, I cannot wait for my mom to get to that point.
You should film her reaction.
Please.
I will.
Alright. Thank you guys for listening. We don't want to see you go, but it's not forever. And we'll see you next Saturday. Bye!